Good evening, and welcome to Watkins Glen in upstate New York for the final round of the current championship of the TSRC, the Sim Racing Collective GTE Masters. We've had 5 thrilling rounds so far, and the 6th run takes place here at this iconic circuit. It's a sprint format, of course, so we've got 2 races coming up, of course, after the qualifying session that we're in the middle of. And we think, if we've got the maths right, that there's only really one championship that is left up for grabs of the 3 classes, and that is our top split in Pro. Joining me, alongside me in the commentary box, is broadcast director Jim Cunningham, who's joined me for the last couple of races. And as you were saying to me just before we started, Jim, it's sad that we're sort of at the end of the season, but it's been brilliant fun, and I'm sure we've got plenty more exciting racing to catch our attention and to talk about tonight.
Yeah, well, certainly this has been a great series. It's been fun working with you on this one for the last few weeks.
Likewise.
Yeah, I mean, GTE cars at Watkins Glen. I mean, there's, it's a recipe for some good racing, I think. I think we're going to have some exciting action here this evening. And like you said, there's only really one championship that's really up for grabs at this point. But, I don't think that's going to affect the racing that much. These guys, they show up to race and have fun. So I don't know that that's going to change anything. I think we're going to get some great action. And who doesn't love Watkins Glen, home of America's first Formula One races?
Indeed, in the 1960s or 70s. It's one of the two.
I think it was the 60s.
I think you're right. Yes, the late 60s. Somebody who's not looking forward is Gwen Stander. He says, "Oh no, it's time," and he says, "Amped to see Borneo lifting the trophy." So, which class is he talking about? That'd be Clive Borneo,
yes,
in the AM Championship, of course, who, since qualifying still going on in the background, we could probably briefly go through our standings, starting with AM right at the bottom. As we see, that's Tom Davidson, you can just see in the background as Kieran Sharp lights up the middle sector. You see that purple time means he's fastest in the middle split. But here we go. Clive Borneo, I think is what his nickname for the Big Pig Racing by VRS driver. He's had a very good run, really, ever since Hockenheim. He's been on a bit of a winning streak, won at Spa as well last week, and he's on 115 points, significantly ahead of Stefan Mellis on 86 points. That's a 19-point gap. So Clive Bourne only needs to score, I think, a couple of decent points. He's dropped a 6th position from the opening round of the season at Nürburgring. So whereas Clive Bourne, his worst result is an 8th place from round 3. Johnny Wu is also technically just about in mathematical contention in 3rd on 81 points. Then we got Giovanni Zazzara on 79. Francesco Cardulo, who's missed a lot of races but won the first 3. He's on 76. Gareth Ronda is on 73 points in 6th. Then it's Matt Smith in 7th. Mauro Gabbiati in 8th, Valerio Tedeschi in 9th, and Nick Russell rounds out the top 10 from Wayne McNichol, Daniel Roberts, Fabio Falci, and Liam Haycock, and Thomas Martin, of course. Liam Haycock was, of course, disqualified early in the season, so that's me looking at the SimGrid AM standings. So here in Pro Am is the picture going into the finale. It's even more dominant. Liam Giles, who we called him as the champion at Spa, and I think we can pretty much confirm that now. 154 points to Patrick Falconer's 88, so that is over 60 points in favor of Liam Giles, and we've only really just over 50 up for grabs. Mathematically, Liam Giles is your Pro-Am champion for the season after some fantastic performance. Never finished worse than 2nd in the opener. He's on a huge winning streak in the Pro-Am class. I think he's probably looking for a move up to Pro next season. Patrick Falconer, as I said, in 2nd. Then we have got...
I'm sure everybody in the Pro-Am class is looking for him to move up.
Patrick Falconer certainly will be. William Chandler, too, on 73 points. He's equal with Mav Gardner in the fight for 3rd, so there could be a close contest there. Paul Smith is 5th from Bart Raven. Thomas Roundtree is 7th. Then it is Tumas Kana in 8th, Paul Weller 9th, and Nick Clibbens rounding out the top 10 from Matt Acton, Bobby Moss, and Bert Gildenhuys.
It's funny, we talk about the championship being over, but second second and third are still up for grabs, and that's still important, and we kind of lose sight of that sometimes when we start talking about the overall win. But yeah, there's still some positions up for grabs for sure here.
Absolutely. So everything's still to play for, even in some of the slightly lower positions. But here we go. This is the picture up front. Tom Davidson leads the Pro Championship on 111 points. Jamie Nuttall, who's not here, sadly, is on 103 points. So Jamie Nuttall, brilliant driver, but not looking destined not to win this season, with his best result being 3 second places. Just behind him, by 6 points, is Kieran Sharp, who is, of course, 14 points off of Tom Davidson in the lead. That is probably going to be the fight between Sharp and Davidson at the top of the table. And yeah, it would sort of, all it would take is Kieran Sharp winning and Tom Davidson finishing 5th or 6th for them to go into the final race pretty much equal in these 2 sprint races. Richard Simnor is 4th. I think Richard's not here today either. Jack Southfield will be 5th in the points. Then it is Marius Hibmer, Gergely Kunsabo in 7th. Josh Millington is 8th. Andrew Pike will be 9th, equal on points with Francesco Petalin. Hayden Miller will be 11th. Luciano Vitvo at 12th. William Hamling 13th. And Lucas Sauer in the other big pig will be 14th. So that is all gone.
No, I was just going to say Bitvod is down there in 12th place in the points, but it sure hasn't affected his speed as of right now. He looks like he's sitting on the provisional pole right now.
Indeed, he does. The BMW looks pretty handy around Watkins Glen, it must be said.
It's considering the domination that we've seen from these Fords over the past few weeks. That is definitely saying something, because the Fords seem to have really dominated over the past couple of weeks. But it's like we were talking with before the race, the fact that you got the bus stop chicane in there, which kills that big straightaway here. That's probably taking a little bit of the wind out of the Ford's sails, Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it takes a bit of the high-speed cornering opportunity away from them, because of course we know how good the Ford GT is in terms of straight line speed. Interestingly as well, Josh Millington, the other Ford GT, currently outpacing Kieran Sharp, and Liam Giles in his BMW comfortably leading the Pro-Am pack, and he's actually 4th overall, just 13 hundredths behind Kieran Sharp then. So 13-1, just over a tenth of a second then. So yeah, Kieran Sharp might find himself in a little bit of a... He is quite significantly ahead of Tom Davidson, but he needs to be maximizing if he wants to take the fight to his fellow countryman in that Corvette, who's currently narrowly behind Marius Hibmer in 7th at the moment, as we see. I think that's Mav Gardner, who's just gone 17th overall, as we see... is that one of the BMWs going into the pit lane here?
Yeah, that was Hamling. Yeah, I'm just bouncing around here. There aren't many cars left on the track at this point. I was just kind of... That was
just a minute left to go.
Stefan Mellis right there, I believe, huh? Or is it? No, that's Mav Gardner. There's Stefan. Yeah, not much left. We've got just a minute left to qualify, and now. Yeah, I'll tell you what, this has been a fun series. We were talking earlier about it also, that, I wish more people would do these GTE series. It's a great car. If you haven't driven one, get out there and drive one. They're a blast to drive. No ABS, which makes them a bit of a challenge, but that's also part of the fun of it,
Indeed. We see a couple of comments in the chat. Rob NL says, I saw that Thomas has the best change, I think he means chance, to chop down the Roundtree. So I assume there's a bunch of nicknames for drivers there that are slightly catching me out there.
Yeah, so let's see. Well, Roundtree is a... he's actually on the track right now. Show him, but we're down to pretty much no one left on the track but Stefan Mellis.
Yep, session end. 10 minutes marks just been met, so grid looks like it's been set. So one stander says, how would the classes work out for next season? Would the winner of each class be promoted? No idea. You'd have to ask the organizers for that. And Rob NL makes the case Clive Bourne should be a pro driver next year, which He's sort of 14th on the grid at the moment. I think Pro-Am, definitely.
I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. Yeah, I think no doubt Giles should be.
Oh, definitely.
There's your grid.
So let's run down the grid order for the penultimate race of the season then. Luciano Vitvo, I believe that's his first pole position, 141.081. That's good enough for pole position by almost a tenth and a half ahead of Josh Millington. Then it is Kieran Sharp, the man third in the standings, looking to try and steal this championship. He is third on the grid from Liam Giles, the new Pro-Am champion. Guillaume Hamling will start fifth from Marius Hibmer. Then it is Tom Davidson, seventh on the grid, looking to hold on to that 14-point lead. Needs to keep pace with Kieran Sharp here to limit the damage. Gergely Kunsabo will start eighth, the Hungarian. Then it is Paul Weller in ninth from Patrick Falconer. Andrew Pike in 11th, and Thomas Roundtree rounds out your top 12 in the Pro-Am class. Behind him in 13th will be William Chandler as the safety car begins the pace lap here. Then Clive Bourne, of course, championship leader in AM. He starts 14th ahead of Francesco Cardulo and Mauro Gabbiati. Mav Gardner will start 17th from Giovanni Zazzara. Then it's Bart Raven 19th, Johnny Wu 20th, Stefan Mellis second in the points, but down in 21st in AM. Then it is Paul Smith 22nd, Nick Russell 23rd, and Matt Smith will be, I believe, our final driver on the grid, or at least he would be if it wasn't for Valerio Tedeschi, who rounds out the 25 drivers starting the race. I believe Mav Gardner may have hit trouble before the start, then, Jim.
I wonder what happened. He's back in the pits. Maybe he had a quick issue he needed to take care of or something, and
yeah, it could be that we start the race without him, though, because that's often the case when someone gets disconnected. But you see the field bunching up behind the safety car, and Vitvoet, let's remind ourselves how he's been doing in the Pro Championship. He is 12th, of course, with a 10th place and a third last time out at Spa, of course, to his name. So this is a huge opportunity for him, of course. Unlike the likes of Sharp and Davidson, he's not really in the championship fight. So if they come up behind him and he gets defensive, they might be more inclined to back out rather than risking a collision.
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely possible. I was sitting here looking at, trying to figure out what did happen to Mav Gardner. I don't see anything that would indicate that he lost a signal. We'll see, I guess. Just curious anyway. Sorry. Trying to figure out what happened to him.
Yeah, could also be that it's the end of the season and everybody's letting their hair down a little bit, and Mav Gardner's decided to sit out the start, see what happens, and then join again for race 2. But of course, he's 4th in the points in Pro-Am, so equal with Will Chandler, isn't he? So everything to fight for, but yeah, that certainly hands the advantage to Will Chandler in that particular battle, just behind Thomas Roundtree, who we did hear mentioned in chat earlier.
Yes.
EJP15 says, refresh your paint schemes. I just updated all the big pigs. So
yeah, I did. Yeah, I believe that worked. Correct. That I think he said, yeah. Thank you.
He did. He has. Yes. Okay, that's been addressed.
Yeah, I think
okay,
I got him. I think I got him squared away for him there.
There we go. So no complaints about the old big pig liveries. It's
no, I love the big pig guys. Every series that I've done with them, they've always got support in the chat, and they're usually real rah-rah and go team kind of thing, and I love it. That makes it so much more fun when you got a little chat going on, a little bit of action, chat room and everything. It makes it so much better.
So then,
well, that BMW's a good-looking car, isn't it? No, it is. I mean, it's just a good. In general,
man. To start the race, Jim. I was trying to do a little build-up there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I got completely distracted by, isn't that a lovely BMW? But they come through the final corner now. And Luciano Vitvoet is about to lead away the penultimate race of the season. Here we go, the beginning of our title decider then. The first sprint race gets underway here at Watkins Glen, and Hamling makes a brilliant getaway to jump Hibmer for 5th overall, but Hibmer is trying to go side by side in the background. There's somebody arriving backwards at turn 1. That's one of the Porsches.
Oh my gosh.
Dear. And it did say there was an advert that said go bowling at the top there, and it looks like that's exactly what's happened. That might have been Andrew Pike And I think him, Gurgley, Kunsabo, Thomas Roundtree, and Paul Weller have all hit trouble at the front here. But look at this. Kieran Sharp has made a brilliant getaway. He's cleared Millington, and now he pulls clear of Vitford as well, who now sees Millington all over the back of him. But Kieran Sharp pulling a lead. This is exactly what he needs to do. Tom Davidson down in 7th. If it finishes like this, Jim, Kieran Sharp will take the championship lead in Pro.
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah, I expected nothing less from Kieran, even though he didn't qualify on pole. No surprise, he flew right up to the front, and we know how fast he is. Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens now. When we get when it cools down a little bit, I'm gonna go back and take a look at that opening incident. That was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I did was look up, and I saw a car going backwards right through the middle of the field. It's coming through the grass.
That's not usually the best way to take the 90 of turn 1.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting shortcut, especially in reverse like that.
I imagine there might have been some contact or a mistake from Pike that caused him to arrive in that direction. But either way, him, Paul Weller, Thomas Roundtree, and of course Mav Gardner, who didn't even take the start, they're all out of this one. Look how wide they are out of that penultimate corner as they get back to the start-finish straight. So here's our order. Kieran Sharp narrowly leads. Luciano Vitford. Josh Millington is holding off, absolutely charging Liam Giles. Then it's William Hamling 5th. Marius Hibma 6th. Tom Davidson, our championship leader, down in 7th. Then Patrick Falconer is 8th ahead of William Chandler. That's the podium spots in Pro-Am. Clive Bourne leads AM in 10th, just ahead of Bart Raven and Francesco Cardulo, who Bart Raven has just passed in recent history then. But look at this. Vitway is going to get a lovely tow here. Sharp has got the fastest lap, but now he's got to put the defensive maneuvers on because there's this huge train. The top 4 all as one. Liam Giles looked like he was about to mount a move on Millington, and now, Liam Giles in trouble. Through goes the rest of the pro field, and Liam Giles emerged just behind Patrick Falconer. I think Liam Giles may have had to cut the chicane there as we look at Tom Davidson, who has now just gained a place in the race, but not in class as a result of that.
Yeah, he's hovering back there in 6th right now. I'm going to jump back.
Nick Russell in trouble, along with Mario Gabbiati. Nick Russell, and that is more trouble at the very, very tail of the field as everybody switches positions. But Nick Russell now falls to 19th, and there he is.
Back there.
Oh dear. Well, Messi first lap, and Vitway takes the lead. And Tedeschi is taken out there, and is that Nick Russell? I think's just hit him.
Tedesco and.
Oh, it's Paul Smith, sorry.
Oh, man.
Yes.
All right, so back up to the front.
3 more cars on the retirement list, but crucially, Vitway has stolen the lead from Kieran Sharp, and now Millington is trying to go around the outside of the penultimate corner, has to back out of that one there, but Kieran Sharp was just not able to pull clear of Vitway, and in that middle and final sector, the BMW is the stronger package.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out here exactly. I'm going to go back and take a look at that if we can. So here's the pass for the lead right here.
So it's coming out of the boot, isn't it?
Let me restart it where it's at normal
towards
speed.
Heel. Yeah, very, very slowly but surely.
Yeah, I know.
We're on the inside, plenty of space left, and he gets alongside, and I think Kieran Sharp knows at this point that the lead is gone. And now, as we've been watching this, Millington has cleared him as well, going into the chicane. There we go there. So Millington up to 2nd, and Kieran Sharp is back down to 3rd after that brilliant start. And now the threat is actually going to come from Hamling, Hibma, and his rival Tom Davidson. So far from taking the championship lead right now, he'd be gaining a few points, but not enough to be in the lead going into the final race.
Wow, this has been non-stop action so far. So
yeah, hard to keep track of.
I'm going to try to go back real quick, see if we can see what happened at the start of the race.
Here we go. Andrew Pike. Gets tapped in the rib by one of the cracked racing cars. Arrives backwards. And nearly flips over one of the other Porsches, I think. So that was
teammates he took out there too. The same paint scheme. Holy cow.
Nothing Andrew Pike could have done about that one, though, because
that wasn't his fault.
Taken out.
Exactly.
Yes, that was him, Paul Weller, and Roundtree, I think, involved in that one.
All right, so back up here to the front, and Kieran just got kind of shuffled out there, didn't he?
Yeah, didn't take long for, you could tell Millington was sizing him up as we see a lapped car coming out of the pits. That's Gabbiati, I believe, and Nick Russell, who both had tough starts to this one. And that's Nick Russell coming out of the pit exit. Sorry, not Gabbiati. So there we go. Nick Russell is going to be lapped in quick succession by Vitvoet. Millington, by the way, has got the fastest lap now. 141.3 and should be. Oh, let's look at this. He's trying to make a move on Vitvoet for the lead. He's going to try and go around the outside the lap. Ferrari on the inside.
No. Oh my gosh.
And Millington just makes the move in time, but then has to get squarely on the brakes, and this brings Kieran Sharp into play. He's going to try and go around the outside then at the outer loop. Can he pull that one off? No, not quite enough room left for him. Now Hamling fancies a chance to spread the pain as Millington has held on to the lead from Vitvoet in all of that.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. That was absolutely crazy.
We got all of our top 8 all together as a result of this. Nobody can pull away. And Tom Davidson, even though he is basically penultimate position of those still running in Pro, he knows he's only 3 places behind Kieran Sharp at the moment, and he can see him visually in front of him from the cockpit of that Corvette. So
I tell you what, Kieran looks like he's in trouble here. I don't know what's going on. His car must not be handling very well.
We heard he'd had a couple pints before the start of this one, from the sounds of things. So maybe that's what's affecting him here.
I wasn't going to reveal your secret, Kieran.
Oh, and look how close they're all getting to the wall at the final corner there as well. But yeah, it seemed to work well on the first lap, and then the inebriation, or maybe just the setup of that car is not quite there. Kicked in. But anyway, he's still holding on to third. He's still just about keeping the 2 leaders in sight at the moment, but you can sense Vitvoet and Millington have just about got the edge on that second Ford GT there, as Vitvoet is lining up Millington for a surprise attack, and you can see in the background as well, I think there was a move going on. That's Liam Giles trying to get back past Patrick Falconer as Vitvoet is held at bay into the chicane.
Yeah, that's a tough place to Vitvoet. It's kind of set up on the outside there. That is a tough spot to make a move from the outside position. You know, that's a wrong angle to come into that bus stop for sure.
Yeah, we do have a comment from PJ15 who says crash out but back out, and I assume that's one of the big pig racing drivers he's talking about that was involved in the massive crash at the beginning, as we see now.
Some nuts, crazy action out there. I want to drop back here because, I mean, Hamlin is all over.
Looked like Millington dropped out briefly before reappearing. A typical iRacing quirk there, but they're all starting to catch. I think that's Paul Smith in the Porsche just up the road in front of them. So he is about to be lapped here by Josh Millington. So yeah, Vitvoet could be trying to use this as an opportunity.
Yeah, it does seem like Kieran's a wee bit off the pace. If you look at, it just seems like they're kind of stacking up behind him just a touch. He's maybe holding him up a little bit at this point. Something happened to Paul Weller here. Let's take a look real quick and see. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not good.
Look at the inside and then found the car he just spun was still in the way.
Yes. You gotta hate that when you spin a guy and then he gets in your way like that.
Here comes Vitvoet trying to go up the inside, down the back straight then as they're
riding with him
in a loop, and Kieran decides to tuck in behind. Can't quite get past Millington, and Millington has another little lag spike there, but just appears right in front of Kieran Sharp then. So Vitvoet absolutely positioning his car perfectly there to take advantage. And if Millington and Vitvoet keep swapping positions, that's going to keep Kieran Sharp in play here. But it also means the risk of a collision gets higher and higher the closer alongside he gets here.
It does, yeah. This is so now I guess we've got a lap car in front of. Oh, there we go. He got out of the way. I was gonna say that's a bad spot to be for that guy, whoever that is. I think that was one of the cars. Yeah, one of the cars that got taken out in the first accident in turn 1 there.
I thought for a second there, yeah, Tom Davidson and Marius Hibner fighting over 5th position just behind, and it looks like Davidson has just been held at bay by the Dane in front. Remember, we talked to Marius Hibner. And was that one of the 4 GTs trying to make a move? It's Millington in trouble, so we saw him lagging out. And now Hamling and Hibner are through.
Oh, I think he's lost his connection. He's gone.
Oh dear. He's gone into the pit lane.
Yeah,
So that could be it with Josh Millington.
He got booted by the system, I think. His connection got so bad that he got booted, which is good for Tom Davidson, because now Tom is in 4th place, and he's just 2 spots behind Sharp.
He was, but look at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Hipmer not giving him any quarter whatsoever. And look at Falconer and Giles squabbling away for the Pro-Am lead right with them as well.
Oh,
and look at this. If anything, Davidson's been just passed by Falconer, who now fancies a run at Marius Hipmer as well. Davidson could really do without this right now.
Oh, my goodness. Side by side through the bus stop.
Oh.
That's not going to work out very good very often.
That was aggressive from Davidson there to say, Falconer, you're not coming through here. You and Giles, you have your own race and leave me alone. But that's given an 8/10 gap to Marius Hipmer now.
That's a brave move from a guy who's leading the championship to run through the bus stop too wide. You know,
especially someone not in his class as well.
Yeah, I mean, because if he gets taken out here, he essentially loses the lead. Obviously.
And let's remind ourselves as well. Difference between 2nd and 5th is 8 points there, and his lead is 14. So that would halve the gap going into the final race.
I mean, that would certainly make it interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we go from 14 to just 6 points, I believe, as we see Kieran Sharp now being attacked a little bit from William Hamling. So that 2nd place, even with Millington out of the picture now, that 2nd place is not guaranteed, and it's 2.2 seconds to Witvoet. And Witvoet, the Dutchman, has driven absolutely superbly in that BMW, hasn't he?
Yeah, phenomenal.
And he's going to start making hay here. Just a few minutes left to go in this first heat, and Witvoet is going to take the full 25 points. So who's got the fastest lap at the moment? Is it still Millington? I believe it is, so nobody would get the bonus point then, if I understand correctly.
I'm going to go back here and take a look at this real quick, because it's something we haven't said all season, which is here's Liam Giles in 2nd place in class.
He went off at the chicane while running 4th overall, didn't he?
Yeah, so with Falconer just ahead of him there. And that doesn't happen very often this season, where that Liam Giles wasn't out to a big lead. So give Falconer's credit, and of course he's got Liam about to start chewing on that back bumper here in a minute.
Yeah, it's just a shame this has come a little too late for Falconer's title hopes, really.
Yeah,
and look in the background as well, you can see Clive Bourne, or Borneo, as he was being referred to in the chat, ahead of Francesco Cardulo, and he is a couple of minutes away from sealing that AM title there, although Cardulo is looking, he's 1.9 seconds behind him. Cardulo's got William Chandler all over the back of him for company as well. So is Chandler, is he part of, he's cracked, of course, not Big Pig Racing, but he certainly could do a little bit of a favor for Clive Bourne in terms of winning his class by getting in the way here.
He definitely could.
Yeah, and we see
Matt
Carr, I think, getting involved here too, as we cut back to Kieran Sharp defending from Hamling. Hamling got a very good launch off of the final corner as they go towards the 90, but the BMW not quite got the raw straight line speed. It's going to have to be a mistake from Sharp, I think, for the Luxembourg driver to get through here.
This should, we should get this lap and one more, I guess, is what we're going to end up getting here.
Yeah, we'll have to see if anybody can steal that point from fastest lap. 141.319 from Millington, who of course is out of the race, but here comes Hamling to the outside, but Sharp gets defensive into that first chicane, and no opening there as Falconer and Giles are fighting over the lead in Pro-Am. Patrick Falconer just holding on by the skin of his teeth through that first chicane. There they are as they go through the outer loop, and Liam Giles is desperate to steal that class victory and take what would be, oh my goodness, his 6th win in a row if memory serves.
Right. Yeah, he has dominated this year. Like I said, I'm sure everybody in the Pro-Am class. 7th, sorry. I'm sure everybody in the Pro-Am class would be thrilled to see him go. Here's Hamling making a move on Kieran right here.
At the outside at the boot. Is he going to be able to get through here? It's the long way round. It's very wide on track, and Sharp is just going to emerge ahead by Hamling. Try to go back upside in the inside. It's really trailed him at corner here, and Kieran Sharp just holds on there. Oh, but it's Hamling up the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness me. And he forces his way through there. And Kieran Sharp crucially down to third. That is going to be absolutely pivotal in the outcome of this championship. And Sharp flashing his lights in frustration here. Needs to find a way back through, but it's too late. The race is over. Vitva has won from Hamling, who just got past Sharp brilliantly on the final lap. Marius Hibner is fourth. Tom Davidson is fifth. And that means Davidson is only going to lose about 6 points then, if memory serves, in the championship. So let me just get the points sorted out. Third for... so third would be 16 points then for Kieran Sharp, and fifth would be 12 points. So it's 10-point gap for Tom Davidson going into the final race of the season.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, the gap's narrowed. So it has narrowed down. It's going to be a heck of that final race, because that was nuts right there.
Yeah, and of course, let's just do some mathematical equations to confirm the outcome of the AM Championship as well. Victory for Clive Bourne, the full 25 points, I think, should put him on 130 from 115 plus 25. Oh no, it would be 140, wouldn't it? Stefan Mellis, of course, 86 didn't score. Johnny Woo, I don't think scored particularly highly either, down his 17th. So yeah, there we go. Confirmation, Clive Bourne, I think, is your AM champion. So that's 2 champions crowned and just 1 more to go then. Let's look at the final results from that race. Vitvoet takes his first win of the season for the WOR by STR Esports team. Hamling brilliantly snatches second in the dying moments of the race from Kieran Sharp, who nonetheless fought like crazy to keep his title hopes in play here. Marius Hibner was fourth. Then it was Tom Davidson in fifth, still in the championship lead by just 10 points now. Patrick Falconer took his first win of the Pro-Am season from Liam Giles, despite a very, very hard drive from Giles to try and take that back. Clive Bourne brilliantly won for Big Pig Racing to seal the AM title from Francisco Cardulo. Nonetheless, Cardulo taking his best result of the season, I believe. William Chandler was 10th overall from Bart Raven. Stefan Mellis rounds out the podium in AM. Then it is Matt Smith in 13th overall. Mav Gardner, 14th. Gergely Kunsabo, 15th. With Giovanni Zazzaro, the last finisher, on the lead lap. Johnny Woo and Paul Smith were both a lap down, unfortunately for them, after hitting issues in the race. Also crashing out early on were Andrew Pike, Valerio Tedeschi, Nick Russell, Thomas Roundtree, Mauro Gabbiati, Josh Millington with that disconnection, and of course Paul Weller, who we saw very much in difficulties right at the start there in the first corner. So a very short race for some, but an exciting one for those who were able to keep their noses clean and had a bit of luck on their side, it must be said.
It's been that was, I tell you what, there was a lot of action in that race right there. A lot of
difficult
action.
to keep track of it all, isn't it? So 10-point gap now between Davidson and Kieran Sharp, who, crucial, of course, does move past Jamie Nuttall to take second in the Pro Championship. Kieran Sharp, he's got his sights set on going one better. What do you reckon, Jim? Do you think Davidson's going to be able to carry? Because, of course, he starts behind Kieran Sharp by 2 positions once more in this finale.
So my first thought is that Kieran seems to be just a touch off the pace tonight. We've seen him in the last couple of weeks running right up front, leading, pulling away.
On a winning streak up to now, yeah.
Yeah, and so he seems to be just a touch off tonight. So what would it require difference in places right now for him to take the championships 10 points down?
Okay, so if I've got it correct, what he would need to do is, let's figure this out. So 25 points for victory, 20 for second, and then 16 for third. So
that would not be enough. He would have to at least finish lower than third.
Yeah, that'd be 9. Yeah, it would be. It would have to be. Yeah, that 10-point gap. That would only be 9. The difference between, 9. Unless, of course, he sets the fastest lap.
Well, right. But then that would just tie him.
Yeah, it would tie. who's got the most wins? That'd be an interesting thing to look at and probably quite relevant at this point in the season. Kieran Sharp has got 3. Tom Davidson has also got 3.
But then it goes,
most second places.
Well, that's probably going to be
for Tom Davidson. 1 for Tom Davidson, actually, and Kieran Sharp also 1. And then I guess it's down to next best result. So, of course, we just had the result there. So that would have been the 3rd that we just saw Kieran Sharp get there.
Yeah.
And then Tom Davidson's next best result would be his 5th in the first race at Hockenheim, because, of course, he also finished 5th here as well.
All right. So how many points does 4th place pay?
16.
16 points. Right. Is that right?
Without fastest lap, yes.
4th place is 16. I thought that was 3rd place. Sorry.
3rd, sorry, yeah.
Okay, 4th place.
4th place is 14.
Okay, so that's what Kieran would need to take the win. Kieran would need to finish
unless
first.
He takes fastest lap, because if he equals, then he would run on countback.
Well, then we have to, assuming that's how they run their process all the way down to.
If they finish as they start with Kieran Sharp 3rd and our championship leader, Tom Davidson, in 5th, that would just be a 4-point gain, which is not enough given the 10-point gap.
Okay, so, so what Kieran Sharp would need at this point, well, I'll tell you what, it just goes to show you how important Kieran losing that 2nd place in the last race was. That was huge.
Absolutely. I don't know what the rule for fastest lap is if, say, you retire and set fastest lap over, you get the point or not. I don't think I've seen anything that says you don't, so I assume it's just not going to be a factor from that race then.
So, yeah, right. So, all right, here we go.
Right. Here we go then. So, final race of the season in Prospect, and here's how they line up. Vitvoet looking for 2 wins in a row from Guillaume Hamling in 2nd. Kieran Sharp just missed out on that 2nd place. He needs to pull in something special to win this championship from 3rd. Marius Hibmer starts 4th. Tom Davidson, he's the man with that 10-point advantage in the championship. He starts 5th. Then it's Patrick Falconer, winner in Pro-Am last time out. He starts 6th with Liam Giles right behind him. Clyde Bourne, our new AM champion, being celebrated in the chat. He starts 8th from Francisco Cardulo in 9th. William Chandler rounds out the top 10 on the grid. Then is Bart Raven in 11th from Stefan Mellis in 12th. Matt Smith lines up 13th. Then it's Mav Gardner 14th. Gurgly Kunzabo 15th. Giovanni Zazzara 16th. Johnny Wu 17th. Paul Smith 18th. Andrew Pike 19th. Valerio Tedeschi 20th. Nick Russell 21st. Roundtree 22nd. Gabbiani 23rd. Millington 24th. And that is the grid, I believe. So we're about to get going.
Paul Weller.
Paul Weller, yes. So I think green flag is imminent then as they get going on the formation lap. Of course, I forgot about that. I was trying to rush through that.
Yes, you were rushing in. I've been caught both ways before. You get caught where you think they're going to do a pace lap and then, they're gone.
So now we kind of got the inverse championship because Kieran Sharp now knows he's got nothing to lose, basically. So
no, he can just hang it out. He's got to win. It's pretty much short of some really weirdness happening here. He's got to win.
Davidson, if he finishes 2nd, surely he would need to set the fastest lap as well, wouldn't he? If he finishes 2nd, he would need 6th position for Davidson, and at the moment he's comfortably in 5th in class with Kunzabo and Pike much further down the field in the pro class. So there could be if somebody gets taken out on this first lap, it could be very, very controversial. I think.
Especially
given what happened in the start of the previous race near the back of the field.
I was making a joke earlier, of course, about somebody pulling a Ayrton Senna here, and I don't know if you know what I'm referring to, but there was a season where Senna
1990.
Yeah. So now you got Davidson. You got Davidson right behind Kieran Sharp here. So if Kieran were to get a little bump,
isn't Hibmer in between? Sharp's 3rd, and
Sharp is 3rd, and Davidson is 5th, right behind him.
I think that's just because the way that the grid is formed up here. Because he's right behind him on the road, but there is him in theory in between them.
No, I'm talking about in position on the track. I mean, he's right behind him there. You got Kieran Sharp here, and then right behind him there is Davidson.
He could just completely miss his braking point into turn 1 and take him out at the earliest opportunity. It would be the most sporting way to play it.
It was an accident. My foot slipped off.
Could easily backfire as well.
No, it could.
If he
takes
out the wrong driver, damages himself. Yeah.
Tell you what, dude. Let's time before we start finish line. Let's
30 seconds.
Peek in here. There's Davidson. He looks calm. He's ready to go with this. Like he's calm and ready to make a move here.
It doesn't look like anything. It looks like a CGI model, because that's what it is.
No, see,
not really an expression.
You're killing the immersiveness of the whole thing.
And you're seeing things that aren't there, Jim.
I did grow up.
Let's pretend that we can read into his expression there. What Tom Davidson would be feeling right now is certainly a lot of pressure then, as we see the field rounding the final corner for the final time. We're about to get going this season. The safety car pulls in. Hamling and Fitfoot will lead away from the front row. Which of the BMWs is going to lead? Here we go. It's a great start there from Hittmer, actually, as we see Kieran Sharp try to go through the middle, and Hamling has lost out big time. He goes down to 4th here. Hittmer has gone up to 2nd, but it's Fitfoot that holds onto the lead as they all jostle for position out of the 90, and it's Hittmer that is held on to 2nd from Kieran Sharp there. Davidson is down in 5th. Falconer and Giles are fighting away for 6th behind them, but it's this first chicane at the end of the back straight that's going to be decisive here. Sharp pulls all the way out to the left to try and get past Hittmer, and he's going for the lead. It's exactly what he tried to do in race number 1, but this time he is held at bay. Bitfoot saunters off and off track goes Hittmer as Hamling has actually got past, and Davidson is getting past Sharp as well at the outer loop there. Davidson up to 4th, and Sharp is down to 6th. That's a horrible sequence of corners there for the man 2nd in the championship.
Yeah, Kieran Sharp is in. He's back down to 6th place right now. That whole first section did not work out well for him at all.
It needs to clear Liam Giles as quickly as possible. Oh, and look at this. Hittmer is having a go at William Hamling, and Davidson, who seems much more fired up at the start of this one, is trying to go up the inside of Hittmer, and he's all thinking about a double move there. Hittmer has to get out of that one, and Liam Giles gets up to 4th in his BMW. The BMW's working really, really well today, but here comes Sharp round the outside of Hittmer. This is critical that he pulls off this move, and he can't. There's not enough space to get that Ford GT through, and he's still stuck in 6th position while Davidson is on the podium.
Yeah, I think I think Kieran probably was pushing it really hard there, trying to make something happen, and just kind of overdrove that first lap a little bit. He's got to settle in now and get these spots back, and just do it methodically. Work his way up a little more methodically.
By the way, big gainer, and he's just gained an position on this first lap, was Paul Weller. He's gained 12 positions.
Oh my God.
As we see, Matt Smith and Cardulo both dropping down the order and in trouble there. So they have had issues, I think, coming out of turn 1. But look at this. This is the battle between Weller and Pike. He's going to try and go around the outside of Pike, who's gotten a lot further into this one than he did in the first race here at Watkins Glen. But Weller has now gained 13 spots as we see Pike flashing his lights wildly as he falls into the clutches of Zazura there. But in the Pro-Am class, Paul Weller, now next target is Mav Gardner, who's 4th in class there. So Paul Weller, much better race for him. He's trying to get on the podium here. The BMWs are absolutely flying right now.
Well, ironically, he's got Weller, who he's gotten by both of those. He's got by one of those, but they were all involved in that whole part of that first lap incident last time as well. I'm back up here now. Here's
tell you something else. Somebody else has got involved in the first time. This was Clive Bourne. He's right at the back. So good thing he sealed that title in the first race, isn't it? Pretty much, because otherwise he would be in a lot of trouble right now with let's see, Zazura and Mellis 1 and 2 then, and we see here is Mellis challenging, and they're both right behind Andrew Pike. There's a big crash, and that's Mellis in the wall.
Yeah, Mellis is gone.
Did he get tapped from behind there? I didn't quite see how that started.
Yeah, it looked like he did.
So, yeah, who was it Sasser who was behind, or was it Roundtree? I think it might have been Roundtree that made contact there. Here he is. Oh, and they're just having to avoid everybody, but that was not a great way for poor Stefan Mellis' season to end for the Belgian, because he'd had a good campaign in AM up to that point.
No, it never actually recorded that wreck, which is weird.
So,
I don't know,
by the way, let's recap what's happening up front, by the way. Liam Giles has gotten up to third, as you can just see there, past Tom Davidson. So Davidson down to fourth overall. And Kieran Sharp has cleared Hibma, as Kun Sabo has actually caught up to the rest of the pro field as well. He's right behind Hibma. But now Sharp is right behind Davidson, who's starting to be held up a bit by Liam Giles, not in the same class as Hamling now. And Vitvoet are threatening to make hay, as Liam Giles is actually still right behind Hamling. So Hamling is very much the cork in the bottle here. But Kieran Sharp now right behind Tom Davidson. He's going to be taking risks here, because we've only got 20 minutes left in this race, have we? So not a lot of time to make the difference in this championship.
No, and I think at this point, but Kieran has settled in some. I think, and he's driving, a little more calculated now. He's got his work cut out for him, though. Not only does he needs to get to the front. He needs Davidson to back up a little bit.
Exactly. He sort of needs, because Davidson's still in third in the pro class, and Liam Giles sets the fastest lap of the race, 141.2. That is absolutely exceptional there. So Liam Giles is determined to make Tom Davidson sweat for his championship effectively by forcing him to sort of say, well, you've got to go a bit faster if you want to break away from Kieran here.
Well, and I mean,
look at this.
Giles is putting on a show right
Hamling.
now. Yeah.
Wow, round the outside he goes. Liam Giles wants to take an overall win, I think, and that's Sharp getting past Davidson. An absolutely critical move there, and they always hit the back of Liam Giles there. That's how close they're going out of the chicane and through the outer loop. So the tension absolutely mounting. Kieran Sharp ahead, but that would only be a 2-point gain. He needs to eke more points out of this. And now Liam Giles is the one causing him issues.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sharp, that was a heck of a move by Sharp right there.
But Davidson knew he didn't have to defend that one to win the championship.
Right. So I'm going to jump back real quick. I want to see that one from the aerial view here as he dove it in there. So he just sent it right. It was actually a really clean pass. It seemed more exciting because of what was going on in front of him. Ooh, they almost touched though. Wow. The
problem Liam Giles had is that he's in the same car as Hamling, so the strengths of the BMW are not quite there. But look how close Davidson now is getting to the back of Sharp, almost pushing him along through the last couple of corners as we get to the end of lap 4. And Kun Sabo has made a mistake because he's dropping down the order rapidly.
Yeah, that was Kun Sabo. See what happened.
Oh, he must have had a spin in the back there. So, yeah, you can see the two title contenders, Davidson, Sharp right ahead. Here is, I think, Hibma that he's just cleared, and he just drops it and then spam into the wall.
I tell you what, I've done so many times in that turn. That is that turn is brutal for that right there.
Speaking of brutal, look at this. Sharp taking advantage, sweeping to the inside to try and get past Giles, but there's no room. They're like blocking like a row of Hamling and Giles in front of him, so there was no way through for Kieran Sharp here. And the longer he gets stuck behind here, the fainter and fainter his title hopes get.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, okay, we talk to Kieran obviously every week. He's obviously runs, to my knowledge, runs this championship, so we talk to him every week. He really never believed that he was in the championship fight, even
he missed the first 3 races.
Yeah, right? As first 2, I believe it was, but yeah.
But one of them was the sprint run, so.
Oh yes, okay, you're right. Yeah. So to be fair, he never really thought he was in it. Even as much as today, he was. He never. He didn't really even accept the fact. Once y'all started counting points, I think he realized that he had a better shot than he ever thought he did.
We shouldn't have told him that. Is that what you're saying?
I know, right? Well, no, I just think that, I don't, he just has had a casual attitude about it all season. I'm sure now at this point he feels the pressure of trying to win it since he's got a shot. But to be fair,
he's from Bitcoin. Yeah. Look at it, 4 seconds now over Hamling. Hamling
well,
is
these guys
in
are
full defensive mode.
They're all fighting here, and these three, they're battling back and forth with Giles and Hamling, and that's just allowing Vidvat to get away from everybody. And it's 3 BMWs up front. They are.
Oh, Giles to the outside. Is he going to get the run? Kieran Sharp watches on with interest, but Liam Giles now up to second in the overall. This is the highest he's ever been all season, as Paul Weller in the background gains another place on Mav Gardner, goes up to 8th. That's 17 spots gained from the very back of the grid for Paul Weller. He is a man absolutely on a mission here, but not perhaps the man with the biggest bit between his teeth is Liam Giles. Now this is going to be fascinating. Can Giles, now he's unleashed, start to close on Bitvoet and challenge for overall victory? That would be an incredible upset.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a welcome to the pro class.
Yeah, this is the trial run for next season. Is Mav Gardner actually repasses Paul Weller for 8th overall, and Paul loses another place to Pike now. So a bit of progress lost there.
Had a little bobble there or something.
But of course now this is not great news for Sharp, because now he's got Davidson all over the back of him, and now that Giles and Hamling have sort of resolved their little dispute of second position, they sort of gone back to their sort of maximum pace, each of them, and now he's more finding himself having to defend, not looking as sure-footed in that Ford GT. I'm trying to remember, did we see Millington start this race, or after his disconnection? I don't think he was able to sort out his issues with the race too, so I think Millington is out.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate, because he was still up there, in 4th or 5th place in the championship, something like that. No, maybe not.
It could have been a big factor in. I don't think he was quite that high up, but he could have been a massive factor in
absolutely.
How the title fight played out here. I'm sure Kieran Chop wouldn't mind having another car between himself and Davidson right now.
Especially a Ford GT partner,
Oh, Francesco Cardulo and Nick Russell having a battle for 4th in AM. Gabbiati, I think.
Look at this right here, would you?
Oh, no! That's Weller and Pike coming together and into the wall at the exit.
First race and the second race, those two got together.
Oh, dear.
Wasn't it Pike that took out Weller in the first race?
Not intentionally. He got spun around.
Well, no, I know that. I mean, I'm just saying. Unfortunately, that's 2 races in a row they've been involved with each other.
That to me looked a little bit like Weller was in a hurry to get back past Pike after losing 2 spots the previous lap, and went for a kind of marginal move there. As we see, Giles going a little wide there. So Hamling might have a little go at him, but let's look at this again. Pike on the outside. Oh, he was trying to follow through, because somebody else had, I think it was Matt Smith that nipped through there as well, potentially. And that's backfired horribly for them.
Yes, bad.
No, I think that would have been Art Raven or Roundtree, I think, that was behind them. Sorry. As we see now, because it's actually Matt Smith that's in front of them right at the moment. As we cut back to Hamling, who is still over the back of Giles. Giles with that little mistake into the boot. He's 4.8 seconds. I think Vitvoet has easily got the pace here. I think Giles, in a nonetheless very impressive second, he's just going to find himself having to defend this. And the problem for Kieran Sharp is, even if he can clear both of these drivers, that would only be second. That would not be enough to beat Tom Davidson, but he's going to give it a go anyway.
Oh, he's sending it.
Giles holding them up. Is there going to be the gap? Yes, he has cleared Hamling, so that's second in class for Kieran Sharp now.
Ooh, that was a nice move, man. I tell you what, he likes passing going into the bus stop, which is that's one of the key passing zones here. But man, alive, that's tough. That's
right.
Tough place to
that would be
it.
20 points then going the way of Kieran Sharp, and I believe 14 going the way of his title rival.
I'm sorry, I must
Davidson.
be. I don't know. I thought 3rd place was 16 points. I might be wrong.
But it's in class. Remember, Giles is in the
class.
Pro-Am
That's
class.
right. You're right. I got Giles is a pro in my mind already.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Kieran Sharp wouldn't mind if he was, because it'd be another position he could gain here, but that's not the case. So anyway, that would just be, as I say, 6 points gained at the moment. He needs 10, so just 4 more. If he set the fastest lap, that would get him a step closer, but Vitvoet, 141.107. That's a mighty lap that he has set. Giles only a tenth slower. Kieran Sharp not far behind either, so Sharp, he could snatch it, but he's not going to do it tucked up behind Liam Giles, surely, unless he gets the slipstream, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets the right run in the draft a little bit, he might be able to do that.
Yeah, and even second right now, if he could do it, that would be. He is second, of course. Oh, even if, let's say, something terrible happens to Vitvoet and he drops out, and that would still put it'd be first and third would be the gap, as we see.
So Sharp just got by Giles.
There we go. Well, Giles knew there wasn't a huge amount of point fighting that one there, because if he collides, like we saw, so easily can happen with Pike and Weller. If he had collided there with Kieran Sharp, that wouldn't have looked very, very good for him, would it?
Well, so now we got the final March countdown playing now. Let's see if he can. He's
still got just over 10 minutes.
Pin his ears back and make up 5 seconds in 10 minutes.
He will have to set fastest lap in the process then, because that's the only way he's going to.
He's got clear track in front of him right now. There's no reason to say that he doesn't have the space to do it in. So there's nobody in front of him right now.
He certainly fought back from what looked like a really unpromising position earlier on. Yeah. Davidson, of course, still stuck behind a Hamling. You can sense he's just starting to struggle now. Oh, as he bumps over the curb there on the Troldermut corner, and just looking a little bit ragged is the Luxembourg driver, especially compared to the first race. And the problem is, if Hamling starts to back Davidson into Hibma, that could be very, very good news for Kieran Sharp here.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. If Davidson loses another spot, well, all he can lose is one more spot, really, though.
Yeah, okay, so let's look at that last lap then. A tenth quicker than Vitvoet for Kieran Sharp, 141.5 versus 141.4.
Tenth's not going to get it done, though.
No, but it's a start. He's building up momentum, and we know that straight here is where that Ford GT is really going to shine, and he'll try and build a gap to Giles. And the further he can see Giles in the rearview mirror, the more he knows, right, I've left that Giles, Hamling, Davidson pack behind. Don't have to worry about it. Just have to keep setting hot laps here and trying to make the difference here.
Yeah, I mean, Kieran he's flying right now for sure. And this is very much a hot lap situation for him right now, and he excels at hot laps. He's
the poles this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, he's fast. I mean, in that single kind of lap situation, he is. But I'll tell you what, he's Giles, though, they're not going away. Not that I don't think he's looking back at all right now.
Giles keeps coming back in this middle and final sector, doesn't he? You see Weller in more issues, I think, fighting with Cardulo. But meanwhile, of course, so Giles, of course, still leading in Pro-Am with a big gap now to Falconer, an even bigger gap to Roundtree. Roundtree now the biggest gainer, having gained 14 positions from where. Oh, and slamming into the wall on the exit there. That's not going to do the Ford GT any good at all. And it could indeed. The Vitvoet now has got the gap up to 6 seconds with that. Has Kieran Sharp damaged the car? Because that was a big hit coming out of the final corner there.
Yeah, that was indeed.
But what I was going to say was behind the Pro-Am battle, we, of course, have got Gabbiati leading in Am from Zazara and Cardulo. And, of course, if you look at the championship, has Gabbiati, his best result this season is a third, I think, from last time out at Spa, where, remember, he did that alternate strategy. He was the only one that sort of made it work, wasn't he? One of the very few anyway.
Yes.
And now he finds himself having avoided the chaos in the first couple of laps that really caught out Clive Bourne, who's still 11 seconds off the rest of the pack. Still going in 21st place, never say die, is the Big Pig Racing motto, it would seem. But yeah, it's certainly a big opportunity for Gabbiati, and we should definitely make a a bit of a note of that this is his best performance of the season, coming right at the end here.
Yeah,
that's
I'll pop in on him real quick. He's out here. He's making some hot laps himself right now.
Continuing to pull the gap to Zazara. Yeah, 142.9 was his last lap. Zazara at 143.7, and they've got Paul Smith in between them as well. So yeah, over 5 seconds now. The gap. He's in a Luciano Vitvoet sort of position, dare I say, but you can tell Kieran Sharp.
Yeah, he's off. He's
a little bit damaged.
He's lost almost.
He pushed it too hard, didn't he?
Yeah, he's lost almost a second since he hit the wall.
Yeah, so this is all now about defending second position.
Yes.
And sort of limiting the damage. Unless Tom Davidson hits trouble, even if Hibma gets past, that wouldn't be enough. That would be second and sixth. The difference between the two positions, of course, would be, let me think, that would be
to be
20
honest,
for second. And then sixth would be 10. So that would be enough, actually. But it seems unlikely that Hibma's going to be able to get through because he keeps being dropped here. As you see, Hamling has passed Giles, actually, as I was speaking there.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Well, Giles must have had a little slip or something because he was nasty fast there for a while.
Yeah, I think it was just simply he didn't get the slipstream there. Now, Davidson, you can tell, just continuing to feel a little frustrated here. And he really doesn't need to trip over Giles, knowing that he's in a title winning position, so he won't do anything silly.
You think he feels frustrated? See, I think at this point, Davidson's sitting there, right? He knows he's in the window to win this, you know? He's probably more than comfortable just sitting in fourth place back there and waiting, you know? I think. No need for him to push to try to pass anybody, you know? I mean...
He's a racing driver, surely.
Sure.
Being tucked up behind someone not in the same class, that's got to be a bit of a distracting position to be in, basically. And
I mean, I see that too.
When he knows Kieran Sharp is struggling as well, and he's stuck at the back of the train and can't take advantage. And let's look at the lap times relative to Hibma. Hibma was, actually 4/10 slower, so probably not a threat at this point as he drops to nearly 2 seconds behind. So in terms of the championship, yes, but I think there's an argument to say that being stopped by Liam Giles when he's about to win a whole tier ahead of him is a slightly
Is there any other thing that Tom Davidson should be thinking about right now other than the championship?
At the end of this race, mainly. A couple of minutes left to go as we see Hamling having to back out of a move on Sharp. Sharp is actually defending really well here, despite a car that's clearly a bit hobbled here.
Yeah, he definitely just knocked it out a little bit. He bumped the wall there, probably just enough
He's
damage.
not like horrendously slow, but you can tell it's not his confidence if nothing else.
It took the edge off of it for sure.
And we saw earlier as well with Gergely Kunsep how easy it is to get it wrong at the final corner and just your race ends in an instant because the wheel just fell off. So yeah, that was a bit of a heart and mouth moment for Kieran Sharp, if nothing else. And certainly he's had an amazing comeback this season, and every race that he's done this season, he's finished on the podium, which not even Tom Davidson can say.
Right.
So, as we see, was that Weller going in the pits? I thought for a second there, but I think that must be a timing glitch because he's still in 15th fighting way with Zazara.
Right.
And in the wall, was that Cardulo or Zazara?
Yeah, Zazara and Cardulo, I think. I think one of them towed already, maybe.
Oh dear, not much left on the front of that Corvette, is there? So Zazara's season. He was fighting for the podium as well, fighting for that second position. Yeah. He's going to lose it to Cardulo there. So Gabbiati, that first AM win, looking even more secure now. He just went too wide, understeered off. And very nearly got collected and slammed into the wall. Everybody did it incredibly well.
They did do a good job there. All right, let's go here. Yeah, Kieran is, he's just hanging on right now for a second even.
Well, Davidson's backed off by about 7/10 to this battle, so I think you're right. He's just decided to not take any risks here, but Sharp, Hamling, Giles, they're all right together, and Liam Giles, a little bit of personal pride, wants to finish on the overall podium here, doesn't he?
Sure.
If there's even a slight possibility for the David to beat the Goliaths, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I think he's... been eating his Wheaties. He's headed for Goliath himself.
especially after losing out to Falconer and sort of blotting his almost perfect copybook. This is him sort of reasserting his dominance to say that was just a blip. And he very nearly won anyway, so it wasn't like it was a complete off day for him in the first race. Wow, Vitvoet now nearly 8 seconds ahead of Kieran Sharp. He's just been absolutely sublime here. 2 wins in a row for the Dutchman to end the season.
Well,
he is going to be delighted with this.
No threats, no cars around him. He's just out there, running practice laps, just putting them down.
And still close to the wall. White flag being shown. So this will be the final lap then. And you can see Kieran Sharp nudges the wall again. And that could be the mistake that lets Hamlin through. Is Hamlin going to pass once more on the final lap for that second position? Here we go. Into the first corner they come. And Sharp, this tries to get the brakes now. Giles is going to breeze through as well. Liam Giles is back into third place there. And now Sharp has just got to hold off Davidson. But Davidson knows the title is coming his way no matter what now.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop that now, short of an accident.
Unless he gets taken out somehow. Here is now Liam Giles immediately under attack as it's a double move from Kieran Sharp being attempted here. He can only get one of them, though. Giles is shuffled off the podium.
What is Davidson doing?
I think he was just trying to avoid. There was nowhere else to go there. He sticks to the outside, and Liam Giles just about holds on through the outer loop. But it's fast. It's furious. The title may not change hands here, but it's absolutely frenetic here in the fight for second overall.
Davidson's late lift, man.
Well, Hip is now catching up. He can't afford to get too cautious here.
No,
as we see Andrew Pike and Paul Smith and Paul Weller all fighting over 12th position in the background. But Vitvoet now, just a few corners to go. He's nearly 9 seconds up the road from these 4. And he is on, or 5, I should say, and he's on his way to his second victory in a row. What an absolutely stellar performance. He is the man that dominates here at Watkins Glen. Just one more corner to go, and Vitvoet doubles up here at Watkins Glen in that number 60, or number 25 BMW, I should say. Victory for Vitvoet, and what a win that is for him by an even more dominant margin last time. Hamlin once more steals second from Kieran Sharp on the last lap, but our new champion in Pro is the man in that Corvette, Tom Davidson. 4th is enough despite such a near scare with Liam Giles on that final lap, and Giles completes a beautiful season by just missing out on the overall podium, but being once more absolutely dominant in the Pro-Am class. And now here comes Gabbiati a few seconds further down as we see Roundtree celebrating that 8th position. Gabbiati wins for the first time in Am, and that's a wonderful way for the Italian to end his season with a peerless performance.
Absolutely. And Cardullo here has got a nice second place, and Russell with a podium finish here. He's assuming he doesn't run into any trouble.
That's actually a good point, as Russell had not been having a stellar season. So this will be, he was down in 10th overall. His best result was 2nd. He gets another podium to add to his collection then in the final race of the season. So that's fantastic news for the LeBron Racing team.
Good for him. And Stefan Mellis did manage to finish that race, which was pretty impressive considering the way he hit the wall.
Just beats Clive Bourne as well. So both of the Am title contenders hitting trouble, but Bourne, of course, more than enough in hand to seal it. So he will be a very happy man, as indeed will the two men who finished right next to each other on the road, Kieran Sharp and Liam Giles, because those 3 are our champions of TSRC GTE Masters. They are the Maestros.
Yes, indeed. Wow. All right. Well, that was exciting. I mean, it came right down to the last few laps, just like we had hoped for with the Pro Championship, and then we saw Giles, who dominated all season, pretty much in the Pro-Am category. He kind of flexed his muscle and showed that he's ready to move up.
Yeah, well, it's lovely to drive like Giles, who wins the championship, like got nothing to lose, but still showing up, still putting absolutely everything on the line.
Yeah. And, I mean, he showed up and showed him that he's ready to move up, and then
beating the new champion as well. That has got to be a satisfying feeling.
Sure. And then Gabbiati claiming his victory there. That was a nice story to close out the season. This has been a lot of fun. All right, let's see if we got results here.
Action.
Indeed.
All right, so for the final time, let's see how they stack up then. So Luciano Vitvoet takes his second win in a row to end a beautiful evening for him in Watkins Glen. Total domination for Vitvoet. William Hamling, second for the second race in a row, but that does not tell the full story of that intense battle for the runners-up spot. Kieran Sharp, he put in a really, really strong performance in this second half of the season, but it's those first 3 missed races that did for him as, somebody has completely messed up. Won the Porsches once more, decides to end the season by destroying the inside of the pit lane and himself.
With a bang.
Quite literally. Liam Giles wins in Pro-Am for the 8th time, I think. Well, it would be the 7th or 8th time this season, I believe. I think it's the 7th time, actually. After it makes up for the one mistake he's made all season in the first race to narrowly lose the Pro-Am class to Falconer. Tom Davidson, our new champion, 5th was enough overall in the end, but so many scares. It could have gone wrong so many times there, but Davidson kept it cool, did exactly what he needed to do, and those 2 5th places are very, very nervy, but a very, very deserving new champion nonetheless. Maris Hibmer, a little bit anonymous, but he did catch up near the end to take 6th position. Patrick Falconer takes 7th for the runners-up spot in Pro-Am from Thomas Roundtree. A good performance from Roundtree to round out the podium for Big Pig. Then it is Mav Gardner in 9th. Bart Raven rounds out the top 10 from our new AM winner, Mario Gabbiati. And he's been waiting quite a while for that win. That's going to be a great feeling. His second podium of the season and definitely the sweetest. Andrew Pike and Paul Smith and Paul Weller, messy for all 3, but they do round out 12th, 13th, and 14th respectively. Jessica Cardulo is 15th with Nick Russell, his second podium of the season, in 16th in AM. Valerio Tedeschi is 17th. Matt Smith was in 18th. Then it's Stefan Melis surviving a huge crash to finish 19th. Clive Bourne, our AM champion, horrible first lap, but he nonetheless soldiered on to finish in 20th despite huge damage. Unfortunately, behind him, I think we've got our non-finishers. Zazara, who we saw dramatically crash out near the end. Gurgley Kun Zabo crashing at the final corner. Johnny Wu, William Chandler, and Josh Millington did not even get to see the start for poor Josh Millington. So that completes all 25 cars that we saw in action today. And that also completes the GTE Masters season. I think this is the first season they've done, if I'm not mistaken, Jim.
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
So we have got interview room of drivers waiting to talk to us. Shall we go for our new AM champion, Clive Borneo? Because he is waiting very, very excitedly, I think.
Yeah, let's do that.
After such a horrible race, I think he deserves that after soldiering on there. So,
yeah, this is... Anyway.
Here we go. So joining us now is Mr. Clive Borneo, the new GTE Masters AM champion. So, Clive.
Hello.
Wow. I know that was a horrible final race of the season where I think you got caught up in trouble on the very first lap from class pole position, and you basically were on a bit of a hiding to nothing. But that first race, absolutely sublime. You had enough of a margin in hand, and nobody could really hold a candle to you. So really, these final couple of races as a whole, you absolutely sort of took the title with both hands and never let go, really.
Yeah, very true. It's funny because I sort of was thinking back earlier today, like the first race, I didn't actually make the start-finish line. Got spun round before I even reached the start-finish line, and I sort of, if me today would have told me back then that I would end up champ, I wouldn't have believed him. So yeah, I don't know. I really wanted the first race tonight. I really wanted to get the win, just settle it, so that no matter what happened in the second race, it was done and dusted. The pressure was off. But yeah, it was good fun.
Lots of support, by the way, from the rest of Big Pig and from the whole TSRC community as well. They've been commenting in the chat and cheering you on pretty much the whole way. Even in that second race when things weren't going well, they did want you to at least finish at the end of the season. And hey, it's always good to do that extra race as a reigning champion, knowing you've got it in the bag. So
yeah, indeed.
What do you think's next?
I wish it was a bit fun. Sorry?
I was saying, what do you think's next?
Oh, I don't know. Will I be pushed up a class? Will we even have the classes next season? I don't know. But I'd like to carry on. I can. See if I can get a bit quicker. Maybe have some ABS next time. That'll help.
Well, you
that's the
surprised yourself
beauty.
this season.
That is the beauty of
Well,
driving these cars. No ABS. That's what makes these cars so much fun.
You started now, Clive.
I know.
You got me going. You got me on my rant. I love GTEs just for that reason.
It's true. They are a lot more fun than I expected. They're more fun than GT3 anyway.
Yeah, they are. They're a lot more fun than GT3 because the problem is drivers who are less skilled can just slam it into the corner and hammer the brakes, and the ABS saves them, and that's taken away in these cars, and I love that.
Yep. No, you're not wrong.
So
before we let you go,
extra level of skill.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said, before we let you go, Clive, is there anybody you want to shout out at all before we let you go and celebrate that well-deserved title?
Thank you very much. Well, obviously my other teammates that have been running in this, a big shout out to them for keep pushing me as well to get a bit better, to actually get them good results in. All you guys as well, commentators, people that host, all you guys, thank you for giving us a place to race, taking care of the lobbies and everything. And I suppose one last thing I would like to say was my stepdad unfortunately passed away end of last month, and I'd really like to dedicate that to him. His name was David Lancaster, so yeah, I'd like to dedicate the wins and championship to him.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure he would be very proud of you right now if he could.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope he was cheering along too.
Exactly. Anyway, but congratulations, and we can't wait to see you in action as the new reigning AM champion. I'm sure you're going to go from strength to strength after this. Thanks for putting on a great season for us.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Right then, so we'll let Clive celebrate that title, and as the Big Pig Racing team goes absolutely berserk in the chat celebrating it. Shall we go to, unfortunately we've not got our Pro-Am or Pro champions waiting to be interviewed, but we have got Mr. Kieran Sharp, the man who just missed out by, how many points in the end? It was only by about 8 points, I think.
8. I believe it was 8. Yep, so we got Kieran in here now.
Yeah, Kieran, commiserations, I guess, because what had been a great winning streak, neither race just quite fell into your lap. There was a brilliant start in race 1, but then it just seemed had the pace on you, and then there was a much tougher start to race 2 as well. And in both races, you got caught by William Hamling on that final lap. So always frustrating to lose second place like that, but nonetheless, you really got the title fight all the way to the last lap of the last race. And considering you missed the first 3 races, you've got to feel satisfied with that.
Yeah, it was tough tonight. The quality of the car was quick because the top speed, but once you come to the race, you've got the Beamer and pretty much just the Beamer. It was quicker in the corners, but just quick on the straights once it was in the slipstream. So I think it just had a slight edge throughout the race. But yeah, someone's been driving well though. I think the Corvette's been probably a car that's you've got to really push to get the time out of during the race with its lack of top speed. And Tom just, for the most part, kept his nose clean most of the season and took the best, try and capitalize on every situation that he kind of approached.
Yeah, certainly. But let's not forget your credit, because every race you did this season, you finished on the podium. So that has certainly got to count for something. You put on a very, very entertaining show. What do you think is next for you? And do you think you can keep this momentum going? Yeah,
since you have insight.
Going next, I think he's probably going to be hosting some like one-off races, maybe a bit more on the crazy side as well. So we'll see what comes out of that.
That oval race TSRC did, the Oval Madness or whatever it was, a couple of months back, is anything to go by, then that should be an entertaining show. It's not the cleanest, but it's certainly entertaining.
Yeah, it's all for the fun of it. Over the summer, I think people kind of struggle to find the time to do something. So we'll do some fun races so people can kind of just enjoy the chaotic combos.
Yeah. Jim, do you have a question for Kieran before we let him go?
No, not really. Just congratulations, and thank you for what you do for the league. I've done, I guess, 3 different series now that you guys are running.
I can't hear Jim if he's speaking. I'm sorry.
Do what? I'm sorry. What? Oh, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry. But anyway, just helping, making this comfortable for us as broadcasters and bringing us in, and you do a lot to certainly to help me, and I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to see what's coming next. I love this league. A bunch of good guys in here for sure.
Yeah, I had you muted in the
Of course
Discord.
you did.
I caught the end of that. Yeah, it's been fun to run, and hopefully you guys have had some interesting stuff to watch. So yeah, thanks for the broadcasting this season.
Does anybody like to shout out before we let you go, Kieran?
I'll say at the end of every season, just everyone taking part, watching as well. It's good to see a lot of regulars returning now. We've been on iRacing for well over a year now, and I think we built a solid group of people. So just all those coming in here in each week.
Wow, thank you. That's very, very well said then, Kieran. And looking forward to commentating again and you going one better next time around when we do this. But thanks for putting together a great season, and you can get a much earned rest now and gear up for the next crazy thing that TSRC has in store.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, so we have one more driver that wants to be interviewed by us, and that is our resident Dane, Marius Hibmer, who, of course, was 6th in the final race and I think 4th in the first racing class, if memory serves. So Marius joins us now. Hello. Interesting race for you. Of course, the title fight was going on just in front of you, in and around you. And the first race certainly slightly more successful than the second. How did you find things at Watkins Glen today?
Quite a fun track. Honestly, didn't expect to have this much pace, considering the fact that I did almost 0 practice before. I've just been focused on... Just been focused on doing some practice for the Majors 24 coming up this weekend, so didn't really get a chance to practice, but quite an enjoyable track, and surprised with my pace, to be honest. Race 2 went a little worse. I think I just kind of missed my braking marker going into the chicane and actually pushed Kieran off as well, but he managed to recover well. Me, not as much, but oh well, it was fun.
I no wonder we just talked to Kieran. He didn't mention that, funnily enough.
Yeah, so it didn't bother him too bad, apparently.
Yeah, no, he still finished quite well, it looks like. So that Ford is just incredibly fast on the straight, so able to make up some positions with that, I assume.
I tell you what, those BMWs were fast tonight. Oof.
Oh yeah, it's quite balanced tonight compared to some of the other circuits, actually.
Finally, a circuit that suits the BMW, right? A bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ford and BMW were the cars to be in tonight, and BMW probably the car for the season. To be honest, I've had my difficulties with it, but fast car tonight, and it felt good to drive as well.
So finally, Maurice, is there anybody you'd like to shout out at the end of the season? Of course, you put in some really, really solid drives. We're fighting for top 4. It's just off the podium, I think. You certainly have impressed quite a few people. Is there anybody you want to shout out now the season's over?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my team, Glass Tech Racing, and I'll also give a shout out to my sponsor, racinggood.com.
Or ever the consummate professional. Well, congratulations, Marius. It's been so much fun commentating on you this season. We can't wait to have you back, and best of luck wherever you race next.
Thank you.
So I think we've actually got our pro champion who's just gone in the waiting room.
Well, all right.
I think that's Mr. Tom Davidson. So let's try. It says Tom Who Lies is his name, so I hope it's the right Tom. So Tom Davidson joins us now, the new GTE Masters TSRC Pro Champion. Tom, congratulations. In the end, you just had to bank those 2 top 5s, and you had just enough to win the pro title over Kieran Sharp by 8 points. Congratulations, and what are your emotions right
now? Just want to say, it's Thomas Roundtree, not Davidson.
The whole time I was sitting here thinking, what if this is Roundtree?
I was so tempted to go, you know what? Really hard racing at the front there, like, Kieran Sharp as quick as ever and all of that. No, I was so tempted, but no, I cannot take credit for him. He has a fantastic series in the Pro Championship, so...
Okay, let's start again, shall we? Congratulations, Thomas, on the podium in the final race. I forget what happened in the first race to you. I assume it wasn't quite as fun, but because you gained 14 positions from where you started. So I think the drivers still caught up in the melee at the start. So a clean second race. This interview has been disaster, but the race was good. So,
the first race, I nearly rolled it on the first corner after being spearheaded by a Porsche going backwards. With my teammates, so two of our team decided just to, get taken out in the first corner. So not great.
You really did almost roll it too. You were almost on your side.
I think my heart rolled over as well. I was fat scared by the difference there. It was pretty mad. But the second race, much better. You had a really good battle bringing it back up into third place. Mav Gardner put up a good defense and things, but I couldn't quite catch Patrick. Had a bit of damage on the front end at some point, so don't know how I got it.
I was just thinking of people, Rob NL and Juan Stander moaning at me in the chat for getting it wrong.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Juan Stander's blaming you. Says, "Damn it, Roundtree." I guess there's Tom Who Lies, which is Thomas, and the Natural Tom, which is Tom Davis.
That is so funny, though. That was the best.
Never going to live that down as long as I live. So Tom, obviously. A good end to the season with that podium. You had to fight your way through the field as all the chaos sort of happened around you, I think it's fair to say. And you were 7th in the championship going into this final round, of course. It had been a bit up and down. You had a really good, was it Indy? I forget what track it was, where you did the 2 second places. But other than that, it has been a little bit tough. So important to end the season, I think, on a high for you and for Big Pig going into the next one. Yeah,
absolutely. Weller was the one who got second places at Indy, so
that was
but he was on the team. No, I had a fantastic round at Spa. Had a really good overtake on the last lap as well. That was really enjoyable. The league has very much, you either have some absolutely fantastic races or you get taken out. It's either or the other, and I'm sure the spectators love it. I've definitely enjoyed it. It's had its contentious moments with those crashes, but I'm either at the front or in the pits. That's basically how it is in this league.
Well, did you race the BMW M2 League?
No, I did not. That was I saw that one. I was the one in the chat bombing it for Big Pig there.
Oh, that was you. Okay,
that was me. No hard feelings for any decisions I made in that chat, but
Well, that was James. That wasn't me. I was just sitting back watching. That was you and James going at each other.
No, that was I would love to go for something a bit slower this next time. Maybe the Jetta or the Clio or something like that. Something a bit out of the left field would be a lot more fun. More tin tops, definitely. I don't want to see any Formula cars, because I just think that these cars breed really good racing and just sort of like really close racing, especially the GTEs. The draft in them are so powerful and they're so good through the corners that they just seem to stick together and you get some really good battles.
Oh, just seeing a replay on stream, you making a double move into the heel and boot there.
Oh, yeah.
As goes up in the wall. But thanks for talking. I'm sort of, after messing up this interview so badly, I'm sort of out of questions. So anybody you'd want to shout out, Tom Roundtree, before we let you go?
No, just everyone on the Big Pig team for joining in on this. Francesco, who was enjoying the beginning of the season, is in Germany, so he couldn't take part. And then Lucas, who's also here, he's currently going to every 24-hour race this year. So
that's cool.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck to him. Not jealous at all. And me, Borneo, and Weller kept up the flag flying for Big Pig. So just overall, thank you all as well for hosting. Look forward to whatever's coming next, and hopefully I can be a part of it as well.
Absolutely. So we wait to see you in action next time with bated breath, Mr. Roundtree. So I will remember that you're not the other Thomas next time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the pro championship if you really want me to have it.
Yeah, well,
apparently Tom Davidson doesn't think it's worth being interviewed, which is fair. If you're the champion, I think you sort of have a right to be as antisocial as you want. So if I'm
Kimi Räikkönen, Kimi Räikkönen-esque.
Exactly.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
All right, Tom.
Bye, Thomas.
Cheers, thank you much.
All right, so then, as we let Thomas Roundtree
that was so perfect.
escape a regrettable case of mistaken identity. There was a 50-50 chance.
There was.
I knew it as I said it.
When you were saying it, I looked
not.
down and I saw Thomas Roundtree, and I said, I was thinking, wouldn't this be funny if this was Roundtree? Because you were just going on and on about the championship, and he didn't say anything. Well, yeah, of course you do, and he didn't say anything. It was hilarious. It would have been
worse if I'd got it the other way around. If it was Davidson, and I just assumed it was Roundtree. So actually, I won the title.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, if in doubt, just praise.
That's right.
Anyway,
that couldn't have ended any better than it did, though. That just put the final cap on this whole thing. That was great.
Yeah. One stander says, make it a weekend league, please. I want to join so badly, but I have to work during the nights throughout the week. Well, that's not really in my power, I'm afraid.
No, you need to kind of join the Discord and lobby for your lobby for your days.
I'm doing a lot of sim racing this weekend, but I don't want to plug my own championships and things. I feel like
there's plenty of stuff out there going on the weekends for sure. But if it's this league you like, get in there and lobby them. They, there's no telling. I know that they do take the members' opinions into account for sure in this league. So get in there and participate. Yep. So
I think it's time to wrap up, Jim.
Yeah,
final
good season.
Before I do the closing.
It was a good season. It was a lot of fun. I originally was going to commentate like one or two of these events. Ended up doing, I think, maybe every one but one. I love the GTE, so this was a lot of fun for me. I wish more people would support the car. I think it's a fantastic car to drive. I love these guys. It's a good league, good people, and I had a lot of fun closing out the season with you, especially the last 10 minutes. It's been hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Always keep them wanting more, right? Especially more accuracy in identification. But nonetheless, it has been brilliant season. I've enjoyed working with you, Jim. And that's it, sadly, for the Sim Racing Collective GTE Masters season. So congratulations to our champions, Tom Davidson, Liam Giles, and Clive Bourne, and of course all of our race winners, not least of course our overall double winner, Luciano Vitford, our first time winner in AM, Mauro Gabbiati as well. So then thank you very much and Patrick Falconer as well, winning per AM in the first race, can't forget that. So thank you very much to all of you for watching and joining us throughout the whole season. We don't know quite when TSRC will be back. I know JP Broadcasting will be back on Sunday night with a bit more iRacing on IGP. So you've got that to look forward to. But from me, Edward Hunter, from Jim Cunningham alongside him in the commentary box and dutifully controlling the broadcast, it's goodbye from us. And we look forward to the next broadcast. You never know, we might see you on the track one day as well. Thank you very much for watching and good night.